Well, we dug the hood out of the paint booth, pulled it out here. As you can see, it's got all these rust areas, all these little chips. So it's gonna have to be dealt with, but I figured since this hood is getting chopped up for an intercooler scoop either way, we'll just leave this alone. If I mess up the cut on the scoop, then we can just end up trashing this and we'll just get another hood eventually. But I figured for now we'll set it up, take some measurements as far as where the scoop's gonna be and the hole we have to cut from there. So I just want to get this kind of in place. It looks like we're probably resting on the radiator cap or the reservoir. It's somewhere in this area. I think that's gonna have to get changed a little bit to fully get the hood closed, but either way, I'm going to make a little reference, take some measurements. So basically this square hole is basically right at the front edge of the hood. I'm assuming that that's basically the dead center of the car, but I'm gonna do some more measurements just to be sure. And we'll mark the center of the hood both ways and see how everything looks. Alright, not the straightest cut, probably could have done a little bit better, but not too shabby. I think the intercooler was crooked when I took my first measurements, but it's all good. The hood scoop's gonna cover it up. You'll never even see it. So now I just gotta figure out where I want the scoop to sit. This is really what matters as far as making sure it's straight, and then we'll just make some marks for these holes. Basically, they Subaru just uses these little sliding, locking in studs, and then you just bolt it through the roof. Pretty neat. I'm gonna have to get some more of these. Maybe the new hood scoop will come with it. Well, we finally sucked it up and we bought the access port for the Brat. Found a used one on Facebook Subaru group. Guy charged me like $4.50 shipped, so can't complain. I loaded it up and loaded the stage 2 tune on it and all that. I guess this has to be, I don't know, it's weird. It didn't turn on by itself. I like this picture he loaded on there though. No, cannot turn it up. But we got the stage 2 tune load on here. But the only issue, well, first off, we had a little problem because the initialization connector, as some of you know, has to be jumped over on the Wrx's 2.0 models. The one he had was for the 03 to 05. It's like a 4-pin connector. This is a 2-pin. So I just made a quick little, I just took a piece of wire and just put two spade ends on it and just put it into the connector. So that's literally all you're doing is jumping the harness, or even run a switch onto your dashboard. I know a lot of people do that. I'll probably do that eventually in the future, just so you don't have to deal with it. But anyway, this stupid knock sensor code will not go away. No matter what, we keep throwing the same code. I don't know if I showed it in the earlier videos, but the harness was damaged on this. The knock sensor connector was damaged on this harness, so I had to splice a new connector in. And I don't know if I messed it up when I did the connection, because I know it's a shielded circuit. So I don't know if I messed that up or if we just have a bad knock sensor altogether. But I talked to the guy who's going to tune it, and he said that that code could prevent it from not starting if it's showing high enough knock. So I think that might be our problem. I tried to start the car yesterday, it wouldn't start, and I just didn't want to kill the battery too much. So we have feedback knock set here though. Let's see if it shows any knock while it's starting. I don't think it did yesterday. She does not want to start. Alright, well, I'm going to pull the intercooler off and do a little testing on that sensor and the wiring. Alright, so here is the knock sensor harness. As you can see, it has this shielded wire, then it goes to the regular wire, and then I had to splice it. So I don't know if it's because I have it unshielded and then shielded again and then unshielded again. I don't know. It's a very strange situation. I know I tested this before though on the harness side, and I believe everything tested good. So I'm gonna look up how to test the sensor now, which I don't really understand because it's only a single pin. I assume I would test it to ground. I don't know. I'm gonna look this up and see what I can find. Alright guys, so we cut the connector off. We brought it all the way back to where the original shielding ends. We spliced it, the actual wire. Our ground is gonna be an issue. Hold on. Alright, we got the ground situated. So now we have 4.78 volts, supposed to have 5, so it's within 10%, that's good. So now what we're gonna do is splice this harness, no shielding wire, directly to there. We're just gonna do a quick little test to make sure everything is good. We already checked continuity from here to the pin, so this connector should be perfectly fine. There should be no reason it doesn't work now that we hook this up. So I'm just gonna quick twist them together, stick a wire in this end, and do the same test that we just did, just to be 100% sure before we butt splice and heat shrink it. Alright, good news. We have connection, full 5 volts, staying steady, not moving around. So I'm going to go ahead and heat shrink and butt splice that, and hopefully we'll be good to go. I'll reinstall this knock sensor, and hopefully this code goes away, stays off, and hopefully the car starts a lot easier now too. Let's see. Alright, good news. We just cleared it, read it again, and no codes were found. Before it was just popping back up instant. So I think we're good. I'm going to pop that intercooler back on and try to start it. Alright, intercooler's back on. First start after repairing the knock sensor. nothing. Huh. Let's see if the code showed back up. Well, that's good. Alright, well, still doesn't really make sense why it won't start, but at least we got that code to go away. I'm gonna check this battery voltage and possibly put it on the charger. We obviously just drained the battery quite a bit just now, keying on and off and leaving the key on, so see what the battery looks like and we'll charge it up. So after all that, I was thinking I tried to start it and film it, but I was spraying some starting fluid. Every once in a while it would start to hiccup a little, so I was thinking it's probably fuel related. I don't know what's going on in that fuel cell sending unit. I don't know if maybe the sensor rod is getting stuck or something, because it showed that it had a good amount of fuel, but I pulled this line off. I cycled the key a few times and it was just getting like little tiny driblets. So I filled it up with like a half gallon, maybe a gallon, not even, and primed it a few more times, got a good flow of fuel coming out of the line, and then started up, and it started right up. So I don't know if it's something to do with that sending unit situation back there, or if it was just air in the line that I couldn't get purged out. Kind of strange, but car starts up good now. Starts up like right away. Got some crazy backfires going on. So I don't know what the deal was with all that. Shut it off because it's getting extra smoky up in here, but yeah, so as you can see, it runs good now. I don't know what the deal is there, if we actually were out of fuel, or if this sensor is off, or I don't know. Either way, we're gonna monitor that. I guess what we'll do, well, I guess there'll be nowhere to measure the... One of these days we'll run it over to the gas station across the street and we'll fill it all the way up, and then maybe sooner or later I can start doing some driving and I can do some estimates on miles per gallon and stuff like that, and start being able to calculate the fuel and not relying on this gauge, because that potentially could be not too accurate. But either way, I'm happy. We can hold it open throttle now and it doesn't bog out, so don't know if that's related to it being on the stage 2 tune updated, or if it's because it's actually getting fuel and there's no air pocket now. I don't know, but either way, I'm happy with that. Next, today's pretty cold, so, and I gotta do some cleaning up here, but tomorrow or next day it's nice out. We'll clean up and back this thing out, let it run and get up to temp, and we'll start messing with that radiator switch situation, and then we can start messing with this hood and doing some more fixing on that. Probably grab the I think I'm gonna grab the flap disc now and just hit all these bubbly spots, see what else we can find, and maybe like these ones, it's still pretty small and good metal nearby, and I feel confident that I can just tack those holes solid. Even like here, I'll just sand all that. Oh, maybe not there, that's a pretty big rust section, but Like that is gonna have to get patched, that is gonna have to get patched, all basically this whole strip here. Hoping maybe I can just do it all in one strip or two different strips. All that is obviously gonna have to get pieced together, and this kind of sucks because it's right on this body curve here. That's gonna be a little tough, but I'm thinking these ones we can just like I said, just tack around it, build it up, and sand it back smooth. But these ones are gonna be bad because there ain't much left to it, so we'll see what happens. Alright guys, so as I assumed, we had to jump the two different rad fan signals. For whatever reason, they both have to be, I guess since I use the high speed, the low speed has to be triggered first in order for the high speed to work or something like that. So we got that situated. Rad temps or coolant temps are staying very good now. As soon as it hits that 205 mark, it instantly kicks on and it keeps it right around 190. Today's warm but not super hot. It's like 65 degrees. It's a real nice day, so it's staying nice and cool. But fans are running good, they stay on, they don't shudder off or anything like they were before. Obviously we got the access port all hooked up and it seems to be running really good now. So I still have to bleed these brakes, so I'm not gonna drive it right now, but Bert or Eddie come by and they help me bleed these brakes. The next day or two, I'll probably take it for a little cruise down the side street, down the back road, and see if we can't get it into 4th or 5th gear and really see how she cruises at like 35, 40, or even a little higher, hopefully. Just gotta watch out for the boys out here. They be roaming around. Alright guys, we got the Brat over on the lift here. I had this exhaust piece that I had cut out last time. I cut the angle that I wanted on it. So we got that position. First time I had it angled down a little bit too much, so I just broke the welds and redid it. Pretty happy with that. I probably could have gotten a little bit tighter up in the trans tunnel, but I'm pretty good with that. So we're gonna have to pull this downpipe off, do all these welds, cut it in multiple spots. This was an NVIDIA downpipe, but I just hacked it up to fit because mostly due to the control arm clearance here. The sunlight is crazy, but I had to angle it over quite a bit, and we're still pretty close. You know, that's probably only half of an inch. So hopefully we don't have any issues there. Then we're gonna have to build a little farther back. I have the other piece of the downpipe here, but with the bends and the O2 bung and everything, it's just not really gonna do much. We could probably salvage the flange off of it if we wanted to, maybe up to like here before the O2 bung, but we're just gonna need some 3-inch pipe and at least maybe 1 or 2 more flanges. So we'll see what happens there. I'm thinking, if you guys have any suggestions what you like to see, feel free, but I'm debating on what I want to do with the exhaust. Part of me kind of just wants to dump it out like right here before the front wheel. It's either that or run it all the way back and bring it out back here, obviously, but just don't like the idea of having it under the lateral links and all that. So I don't know. I think for now I'm just gonna run it out to here, and then eventually if we want to do something fancier, nicer, all the way back, we'll do that. But for now I think I'm just gonna run it out the side, in which case I think I'm just gonna make the one flange there and just run it back and dump it out. No intermediate pipe necessary. So that is the plan. Alright guys, we're just testing the second rad signal wire. Make sure we splice it in correctly. So there we go. Continuity from ECU all the way down to this harness on the other end. So what we're going to do is we're going to splice that secondary wire, secondary signal, into the signal that the relay is running off of. So then they'll be working as we showed earlier in the video. They'll kick on at about 205 and then run as needed. Alright, not sure if you'll be able to hear it in the video, but the fans were just running. No longer have the wire jumped on the ECU. Have it all spliced under the dash and the harness here. As you can see, it reached 205. The fans kicked on. They brought it back down to 190. And then it's gonna, same thing, as it warms up, it'll kick back on and bring her back down. So today, once again, today's a pretty nice day. It's only about 70 degrees, but time will tell. These fans, they only run for about probably a minute roughly until they kick off. So I think they'll do a perfectly fine job in the middle of summertime. And obviously the car's just idling right now, not getting any air flowing through, so it's going to be the worst condition. As summertime goes on, we'll see. But I'm really happy. Glad I got that figured out, and it was nice and easy and simple. Now we don't have to run an inline thermostat signal or anything like that. So super happy about that. We're gonna park this thing back over on the other side. We'll probably pull this downpipe off, do a little welding on that, and start messing with that hood some more, and just start finalizing some more stuff. I gotta hook up the rear brake lights so we can drive it around. Either way, put some brake lights on there and do a little bit of test driving. But that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and hope you come back for the next one, because things are going to be getting exciting soon here.